Now let us look at the next concept. Concept of slip. There is something called a slip that exists in the case of a belt drive. Now let us see what is this slip all about. In order to understand slip, I will draw one figure again of a belt drive. So this is a belt drive. And let's say this is a driver. And it is driven. Driver pulley, driven pulley, directional rotation like this, tight side, slack side. Now see that at this moment, see the belt, this part of the belt is not in contact. Up to here, this part of the belt is not in contact with the pulley. On this side, maybe from here to here, the belt is not in contact with pulley. This much part of the belt is in contact with pulley. This much part of the belt is in contact with pulley. Now see that at this moment, suppose I'll just write like this. There is a point A. Point A is there on belt, and here there is point B. So there is a point A on the belt where it comes and touches to the pulley. Point A is here, first time it has touched to the pulley, and the point which is below that on the pulley is called as B. So A and B, they are the 2 points. They are in contact. A is on belt, B is on pulley. Now see what happens. There is a rotation. So when the rotation takes place, this belt is moving forward, B is moving forward. Now B is a driver, so pulley is rotating, and because pulley is rotating, it is taking the belt along with it. So when B is a point on the pulley, this B point reaches here. B is a point on the pulley is rotating because it's a driver, and that rotation is given to the belt, so the belt is also pulled. So B is taking A with it. So when B moves forward, it is taking A along with it. So ideally what should happen? A and B, they are together, and when B comes here, that time A also should be here, and now onwards A will leave the pulley. A will not be in contact with B. The contact of A and B is here, that will continue up to here, and then B will go here and A will go out. That is what is ideally expected. Now see what happens in reality. In reality, A will be here. You will find that A and B, they were together here, but now B is here and A has been slightly behind. A is not carried by B. Now whatever has happened, now this has happened, A has remained back because of slip. Now what I have drawn, that is not the exact amount, it is very, very less. It is in percent, maybe 1%, 0.5%, very less. So I have shown it just to understand, but what happens is A and B, they don't remain together. This is what happens. Now go further and now see what happens. Now A has come here. Now A is still on the belt. It has come here, and now there is a point, that is let us say point C. There is a point C here. Now this C point is on driven pulley. C point is on driven pulley. Now A and C, they are together to start with. Now the pulley is rotating, C is a point on the pulley. When this C point reaches here and when A also reaches here, now what will happen? Will they be together, A and C? Here you have seen they were together, but here B reached first and A was behind, because B was the driver and it has taken A, but with slip. Now what happens? Suppose you imagine that A has reached the last point. So A has reached the last point, that means here A is now here. So A is reached here. Now will C be along with A? Ideally we want C to be here, but you will observe that C will be here. C is here, that means C is slightly still behind. Now because C is behind, what it indicates that there is a slip existing on the driven pulley also. So this much amount of slip was existing on driver, this much amount of slip was existing in driven pulley. I will call this slip as S1 and this slip is S2. S1 is the amount of slip existing at the driver pulley, S2 is the amount of slip existing at the driven pulley. So now what happens? What we thought ideally will happen, AB will be together, AC will be together, that doesn't happen. There is some lagging behind takes place because of slip. But the slip, if you see here A is behind B, here C is behind A. Why C is behind A? Because here A is the one which is driving C with some lagging behind. That means A is finding it difficult to take C forward. So some slippage will take place. When slippage takes place, C will remain behind, A will go forward. That's why the difference is shown like this. So this is the concept of slip, and that is what happens. Now how do we take into account this slip? Now it is taken into account like this. Belt speed, I'll just write here. Belt speed. What is the belt speed? Belt speed is called by letter V. So suppose V is the belt speed, that V is given by R into omega. What is the meaning of omega? Omega means angular velocity and R is the radius. So suppose I show this as omega 1 and this as omega 2, this radius as R1, this radius as R2. So belt speed is V equal to R1 omega 1, which is same as R2 omega 2. In fact, this is what is giving us the ratio equation. So R1 upon R2 is equal to omega 2 upon omega 1, which is same as N2 upon N1, and this will give you diameter 1 upon diameter 2. This is the equation which we have written sometimes back, which has come from this. Now in reality what happens, even if you say like this, in actual practice V is not equal to R1 omega 1, but it will be 100 minus S1 upon 100 times R1 omega 1. Now what is S1? S1 is percentage slip at driver pulley. So here suppose I call it as say 1%. 1% slip is there. That means here I'll put S1 as 1. So this velocity will be equal to 100 minus 1 upon 100 into R1 omega 1. So instead of this factor becoming 1, it will become 99 upon 100. That means 0.99 times R1 omega 1. So you can see here there is some drop in speed because of 1% slip. So there is some droppage here. Same droppage will take place here also. So when I written the same equation here, you can see that V is also equal to 100 minus S2 upon 100 times R2 omega 2. And suppose this S2 is, let's say, 2%, then this will be 0.98 R2 omega 2. Normally what happens, the total S1 and S2 is not separately considered. It is considered combined slip. So normally I'll just write down now, the combined effect is like this. It comes like this. Omega 2 has this equation. R2 omega 2 is equal to 100 minus S upon 100 times R1 omega 1. So instead of this factor, we call that as 1, but it is not 1. It is because of this. Suppose S is something. If I'll write here equal to 0. Let's say 985 R1 omega 1. So instead of 1, it is 0.985 times, slightly less, which has happened because of the total slip. Now total slip, instead of saying S1 1%, S2 2%, it is said that the total slip S is say this much. So accordingly the value has come like this. Okay, so this way the concept of slip is taken into consideration for finding out the velocities. Now the next is effect of belt thickness. I will show here itself. Effect of belt thickness. Effect of belt thickness. We have just now written here omega 2 upon omega 1 equal to R1 upon R2. Before that we had written V is equal to R1 omega 1. I'll write this again. V equal to R1 omega 1. Now what is the meaning of this? V is equal to R1 into omega 1. Suppose this is the surface of the pulley and this is R1 and if this is omega 1. Radius of the pulley is R1 and the angular velocity is omega 1. Then this velocity is given by R1 into omega 1, that is what is written. But in reality what happens? This radius, this belt thickness also is considered. We are taken here belt thickness as 0. But in reality, suppose I draw the belt, then this will be the belt. And this is pulley. So now what happens? Suppose thickness, this is the thickness of the belt. RT is the thickness of the belt. So you will see that the velocity of the lower point of the belt will be this and the velocity of the upper point of the belt will be how much? It will be R1 plus RT times omega 1 because the upper point is at a larger distance than the lower point. Lower point is at a distance of R1, the upper point is at a distance of R1 plus RT. So the velocity of upper point will be, this point will have a velocity which is R1 plus RT times angular velocity. This one. So velocity will be different for upper point and for lower point. So what do? We take the velocity of the middle point. The point which is at the middle of the thickness. That velocity we will take. So in reality velocity of belt is equal to R1 plus RT upon 2 half thickness times omega 1. This is the exact velocity of the belt. Neither higher figure nor lower figure. We are taking the middle figure. This is lower point, this is upper point, and this is the middle point. So we are taking the velocity of the belt. If you want to consider the belt thickness, then it is radius of the pulley plus half thickness of the radius, half thickness of the belt. That much is the distance and then omega 1. That will give you the exact velocity of the belt if you consider the effect of belt thickness. So that is what is shown by this particular concept. We'll take now the next session. That session is on to finding out the, that session will be on finding out the total length of the belt. That means suppose there is a diagram like this and there is a pulley, driver pulley, driven pulley. You know the diameter of driver pulley, you know the diameter of the driven pulley, and you know the center distance between the two pulleys. Then it is possible for us to find out what is the length of the belt required. Total length of the belt, what is required, that is possible to find out if we know the diameters and the center distance of the two pulleys. That is called as, a derivation is there. So the derivation is talking about how to find out the length of the pulley. And there are two cases. One is the open belt system. Now this case is the open belt system. The other one is a cross belt system. That means the drive is like this. The pulley and the belt, the difference is the pulley will be in this case like this. So this rotates clockwise. Right now this is also rotating clockwise. But if there is a cross belt system like this, then one will rotate clockwise, the other one will rotate anti-clockwise. That is called a cross belt system. So what is the length of the belt required in case of open system and in case of a cross belt system? That is what we are going to learn in the next session. Okay.